back to the channel, and today is my June book haul. It was a very busy month for buying books. I bought 24 books in a single month. That was probably ill-advised because I've now filled my shelves completely. They all did just about fit on the shelves, but I can't find space for a single other book, so I'm going to have to rearrange these. I might have to unhaul a few or maybe erect a new shelf because we are full here now. I'm going to go through the books as always in the most expensive first, all the way down to like the bargains at the bottom. So we're going to go in price order. Now the first book that I picked up, the most expensive book that I picked up this month was this. This is the Leonesse kind of complete chronicles. I think it's actually a trilogy by Jack Vance. This is part of the Gollancz kind of master collections, and they do them in these kind of like faux leather editions here. Now this is just quite difficult to find really. I missed a couple of orders for this over the last few months. I finally just bit the bullet and haggled with someone, managed to pick this up for £40 or $50. That's a lot. It's actually slightly more than it actually retails for, so it wasn't cheap, but I did want it. I did want to get, you know, this complete trilogy by Jack Vance. I thought about buying them separately. It worked out almost as expensive for the editions that I wanted as this collection, and I have some of these collections already, so it will look nice on the shelf. That's quite a vain thing to do, I understand that, but I really, really like this edition. It's in really, really excellent condition as well. So, you know, I overspent, but I'm still happy to have it. Next up, I went into a bookstore and bought a new release, The Will of the Many by James Islington. I just feel that this is going to start to become difficult to find a kind of, you know, an early printing in the UK. So I went and just bought it new while I could. It was £20, which was less than the RRP, I believe. So I was happy to pick it up. Next, a book that was also really, really difficult to find in the UK. I had seen this recommended to me by Cliff's Dark Gems, and that is Wet Work by Philip Nutman. Now this is, I believe, his only novel, and this was a, you know, it had previously been returned by the distributor. Sorry, it had been returned by a retailer to the distributor, as you can see here by the little punch in the corner. And this actually cost me £14 or nearly $20. You know, what is that, like $17, $18, which is quite a lot for an old paperback, but it is difficult to find. You know, it's about, it'll be 30 years old soon, I think, this novel, and it is, I think, only had one print run. So if you are interested in reading a kind of post-apocalyptic novel, one that comes highly recommended, you might want to go out and get this before it becomes almost impossible to find. That's Wet Work. Next, for just under £13, or about kind of $16, was A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. Now, I wanted to get these in these little hardbacks because they they look like another series of books I have on my shelf. I thought about getting them in some traditional paperbacks, but it just becomes so difficult to get the right edition in the right condition. So I just went new, and I bought this new. You know, at least I can, that way I can support the author. Now for £10 or about $12 to $13, I got a brand new copy of The Wisdom of Crowds, just because I needed this to complete this trilogy in the, I think it's the Age of Madness trilogy, which is part of the First Law universe. And then another book I needed to complete a series, and I've got a couple more of these to get, and that is the Wheel of Time books. I'm trying to find all of the hardbacks. This is the final book, A Memory of Light, and this cost me £7 or about $9. From here on out, we're just going to talk about bargains. Bargains is everything that I bought for less than £5. Let's start with a £4 hardback, and that is Abandoned by Blake Crouch. I've really enjoyed what I've read by Blake Crouch, and I saw this hardback for just £4. It's in good condition, so I thought I'd pick it up. Now, I didn't think I would see this book in hardback, and that is Tegana by Guy Gavriel Kay. He is one of the authors I'm quite ashamed that I haven't got around to. I have actually got a copy of Tegana in paperback. I don't think it was in the greatest condition. So when I found this hardback, I picked this up for just £4 or about $5. I thought it was quite a good deal. Now for £3.50 or just over $4, I picked up All Quiet on the Western Front. That's a vintage classic. And also for just over $4, I picked up X, the Malcolm X autobiography. These were new and were a decent price. It's quite thick for an autobiography. It's 500 pages, but Malcolm X is quite an interesting character, so that makes a lot of sense. Next up, I've got a pile of paperbacks that cost me £2. By Greg Bear, I've got Eternity and Quantico. I've got Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City by KJ Parker. The Aeronauts Windless by Jim Butcher. This is quite a thick one, this one. Fantasy, I believe, by Butcher this time. Yeah, brand new. So, you know, for £2 or about $2.50, these are really, really good deals. I got an old copy of Lord Foulsbane. So this is the first book, I believe, in the Covenant of the Unbeliever, is it? The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever. So this is the first book in the series by Donaldson. I've wanted to read this series, but the issue is I always want a particular copy, and this is the copy I remember being on shelves, so this is the one I wanted to find. And then finally, what a bargain, great condition, The Song for Arbonne, A Song for Arbonne by Guy Gavriel Kay. This was just £2 or $2.50 in great condition. Next up are some books I bought for £1 or about $1.25. First up is Clara and the Sun by Kazuro Ishiguro. Then Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. And that is a Wordsworth classic, I believe. Next up by Raymond E. Feist is Rage of the Demon King. Quite a thick one, this one. Doesn't have its spine broken, like it's completely perfect spine. If you can see that, like an unbroken spine. Absolutely crazy that was just £1, as were these. They are Richard Lehman hardbacks, but I just love these classic Richard Lehman hardback. The layouts of these, you know, the actual styling of the hardbacks are just so good. These don't necessarily come highly recommended. They are fairly standard horror stories by Lehman there, but for £1 per hardback, I thought I'd pick them up. And the cheapest book I picked up for 50p or about 70 cents was this. It is Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey, which is the first book in the Chronicles of the Dragons of Pern. So it's not very good condition, but it was very, very cheap. Those are the 24 books I picked up. Some of them were really, really expensive. Some were really, really cheap. It was a weird month. Let me know what you bought in June. What was the best value book? And have you filled your shelves yet? Put it down in the description. We'll chat about it, and I'll see you in the next one.